Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you hear like a horse, it's probably my cat because she's absolutely psycho right now. She's so hyper and she's not being obedient and she's just eating the puzzle that I just worked on and finished, and she's running around like a horse. I don't know how to discipline a cat. Ah! Are you gonna let me film? This is an important chat, Missy. Okay, you know what? Welcome back to my channel. I am very excited because today I'm going to be talking about a little bit of my testimony as I went from being single into being married now for about 4 months. I think I've been married now. But I just really felt it on my heart to talk to you guys about my single life and how I managed it when I had such a dream of being married and all that fun stuff. So I hope this encourages you. What I say is not the right way to do things. It's not the way it's going to happen for you. It's just my testimony and what God has done in my life through my singleness to married life. So growing up, I always wanted to get married. That was one of my biggest dreams, was to get married and have a family. Like, I'm very passionate about family. I don't know if it's just like the culture, the Hispanic culture, but family is like very close. It's really important. So I grew up in a single family home. My mom raised us on her own, and I feel like it was really hard for me because I had this dream of getting married and having a family. I also didn't have the example. So pretty much from when I was born to when I left the house at about 17, 18, I did not have an example of what a marriage was supposed to look like. I found it really hard to kind of even know what I was looking for. So with that said, it was really hard for me to, I guess, to kind of just come to terms with the fact that I wasn't really prepared at the same time to be a wife, because I don't really know what that looked like. Being single for me was really, really hard because I didn't have that male figure in my life. I feel like I tried to find my fulfillment in my boyfriends growing up instead of God. So I feel like I spent a lot of time just in unhealthy relationships, probably up until I was about like 24 or so. So growing up, I was kind of like in the church on the weekends, but kind of during the weekday, not really living the way that I knew I was supposed to be living. And I got saved at a young age, so there was a lot of convictions and wrestling going on in my heart. But yeah, it took me a really long time to kind of just come to terms with the fact that like God was supposed to be the all-fulfilling thing in my life. When I was a young girl, I was like, oh, I want to get married at 23, and then that'll give me like 3 years with my husband, just us two, and then we'll have a baby like around 27, 28, and then we'll have 3 kids by this time. And I'm 30 years old. I just got married, and that's not what my life looked like, and that's not what happened. And I think it's so funny that we have these dreams and these desires, and they happen, but not in the way that you think they're gonna happen. And at the end of the day, it's 100% for your own good. Like, I'm so grateful that I did not get married at that age, that I didn't stay in those unhealthy relationships. And you know, somehow, some way, God really just pulled me out of that state in my life, those seasons in my life, and he brought me back to him. I really felt like God had put it on my heart to go to Bible college, and I was just like, Bible college? Like what? Like, just so random. And I came across Hillsong College, and that's when I was like, oh, like you can actually like outwork some of the stuff that you love to do in the ministry. And I really just wanted to learn more about the Bible. So I went to Bible college, and I told him, you know what, I'm just going to commit these couple of years. I wasn't sure how long I was gonna stay. It was in Australia. It was away from my family, so that was so hard. And I'm going to just commit to learning about you and kind of just working on myself. I feel like when you have such a dream to get married and to meet the right guy, and you're kind of striving for it, it doesn't really happen that way, and you end up being in something that's just like not good for you. And that happened to me a lot. I think surrender is so important, and I feel like when you do that, a lot of temptation comes your way. When I had decided to just kind of let go and to kind of just like push my dreams to the side of getting married and just committing my singleness to God and enjoying it and being happy being single. I think that is so important, to be happy while you're single. If you're not happy while you're single, then you're going to put way too much pressure on the person that you meet, and you're going to put this like weight on them that they can't carry, because your husband or your boyfriend cannot be your fulfillment. It can't be your happiness, your complete happiness, because that's just like not healthy for your husband. First of all, you're gonna drive him crazy, and it's not healthy for your heart, because God is supposed to be that for you. And because of my past, it took me a really, really long time to allow God to be that for me. You know, just soaking up the season that you're in. In like my first year of Hillsong College, like I needed all of this time from 20 to 30 to really prepare my heart and myself. And along the way, it was a giant roller coaster. But I'm so grateful, and I'm so happy that I waited and I trusted him. And shouldn't put your life on hold until you meet that person. I think you should continue to pursue the things that you want to do, to keep doing the things that you love and all of that stuff, because at the end of the day, like, know that God is going to be the one that fulfills you, and he is going to be the center of your marriage. Because I know I haven't been married for that long, but it's been one heck of a year. So I don't know how we would have gone past some of the challenges that we got past without God at the center. So yeah, that's just my encouragement to all the single girls out there that really want to get married and are growing weary of waiting, to just really enjoy your singleness, soak it up, because you're not going to get it back. And it's such a precious time, because it's just you and God. It's uninterrupted time. When you're single, like, you just get to explore and be adventurous and do all the things that you want to do. I really needed it, and now I'm in my marriage and I have no regrets. That's my encouragement for all the single ladies out there. But how I met my husband is so funny. We were in choir our first year together at Hillsong College, and over the years, like, we always had mutual friends. So we were kind of like just always crossing paths, but like he started serving at a different campus and I was serving at the city campus, and like we kind of just like really never saw each other anymore. I had a Mexican dinner party at my, it wasn't just Mexican people, it was like Mexican food at my flat with my friends, and we're like, oh, why don't we just invite a bunch of people? So since we had mutual friends, we ended up just inviting like some of those guys and then a bunch of my girlfriends. And I invited Will over, and for the first time when we were sitting at the table together, I looked over at him and I was like, he's kind of cute, huh? And I remember texting my friend Susie, and I was like, I think Will's really cute. Thoughts? And she just like died. She thought it was the funniest thing. But it just like, I saw him with new eyes, and it was so interesting because it just was weird timing. And I kind of just left it, like didn't do anything about it. I had posted on my Instagram like, oh, like not feeling well, like kind of sick, whatever. And he had messaged me, DM me on Instagram to that post and was like, oh, I'm not feeling well either. Sorry, I have hair in my mouth. I'm not feeling well either, and I'm making some chicken noodle soup. Would you like me to bring you some? And I was like, that is so kind. Like, I'm not going to turn that down. Like, that's so sweet. So I was like, yeah, but I'm not eating noodles. I'm on keto or whatever. So then he ended up making 2 different batches, one with noodles, one without noodles. And it was just so cute. He brought it to my house, and he like just like dropped it off and was like really nervous and like said bye in like 2 seconds. And I was like, you're so cute. But I was like, that is so sweet. So then just one day at school, he was just like, oh, like I have a break. Do you want to go get coffee? And I was like, sure. Like, honestly, guys, I was in a time where I was just like not interested in meeting anybody at all. Like, no intention. Like, I wanted to move back to America. So I was just like, I'm not going to get involved with anybody. Like, no. So I remember just like really thinking of what I was going to say. I usually never turn down a coffee date. Like, I really believe in giving people a chance, whether I was attracted to the person or not. Like, I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna give this person a go. Like, why not? Like, you never know what's gonna happen, literally. So I was just like, whatever, let's just go. Let's just go on this coffee date. Let's see what happens. It wasn't really like a date. It was just like, let's just hang, you know, just a coffee. So then we went and we literally sat down for 2 hours and didn't like stop talking. Like, it was the easiest conversation. Like, we had so much in common. He was just like so easy to talk to. And that day I was like, he's really cute. Like, I really like this guy. So we kind of just left it like that. And I left and I was like, oh no, what is this, God? And I just felt like an ease in my heart. Like, there was just like such a peace in my heart about him. And it was just really natural, and it wasn't forceful or anything like that. And a couple days later, like, he asked me to go get some like boba tea. And then the next day, like, we went to a movie. And it just like happens like so naturally. And yeah, I just like really felt a peace about him because we just like meshed really well. I don't really know how to explain it. It's really hard to explain when you know, you just kind of know. And we dated for about, I think it was a year. We dated for a whole year. I ended up staying in Sydney a little bit longer, just made money because I had graduated 6 months before him. And we didn't have everything planned out. Like, we didn't know when we were moving back to America. Like, it was just like, we were just going with it. Like, we just knew that it was right. I like can't even tell you. Will is so perfect for me. All these years I've been praying for my husband. Will is literally everything that I just didn't know that I needed. And I think like, you think you know what you want, but it's not really what you need. And like, God gave me someone that I needed, and someone that fought for me when I didn't think that I was good enough to be a wife, and someone that is encouraging and uplifting, and someone that puts you in your place and tells you when you're not being nice and you're just like, you need to get it together. Like, you need that in your life. And such a walking promise that God gave me, because I just didn't think that it was really possible for someone to love me. And I didn't think that I would find someone that would be faithful and loyal, and I just didn't think I deserved that. I didn't think that all these years that I was in these crazy unhealthy relationships and I was being crazy and all this, I was like, God, I don't really deserve to meet someone like so good. And I did, and it's such a gift. And if God can do it for me, he's gonna do it for you 100%. And I just know that God's timing is so perfect. And if it hasn't happened for you yet, because it's not time. And I really pray and believe that you will dig deep into the season that you're in, and the waiting, and the singleness, because there's something for you in that season, something that he wants you to learn, something that you need to unlearn, something where you need to grow in, and he's preparing you. And if you have that dream in your heart to get married, like, I really believe that it will happen. But all that to say, marriage is so beautiful and it's so special. Now that I'm in it, it's a whole lot of sacrifice. Like, a lot. And if you're not willing to sacrifice, if you're not willing to push your pride to the side and all that stuff, don't get married, because marriage is sacrifice, and you're working as a team together to fulfill the things that God has placed on your heart. And it's just a life of grace, and you just need to accept God's grace in it, because you won't be perfect. But yeah, I kind of just hope that encouraged you guys. It's just a little bit of my story, a little bit of how I managed singleness, what I went through, and just kind of just seeing God's grace and love. And he's just so kind, and I really believe that if he can do it for me, he will do it for you. So don't grow weary in your singleness, and really trust God in this season, and have fun in it, and enjoy it, and soak it up. So yeah, I hope this encouraged you guys, and don't forget to leave a comment down below if you like these videos. It would mean the world to me, and so encouraging for me to continue these, because these are very vulnerable and it's very hard to do them sometimes. But anyways, love you guys, and I'll see you next week.